Hello and welcome everyone. This is the Anxiety Relief Summit and I'm your host Monika Polemicos, Anxiety Relief Specialist, and I'm really proud to be showcasing complementary therapies to help you overcome and get relief from anxiety. And so today I have asked my good friend and publisher of the Anxiety Relief Handbook, Samantha Jansen, to come along and actually interview me and host today's session so that I can share with you, my chapter of the Anxiety Relief Handbook and my passion to help people relieve anxiety with hypnotherapy. So Samantha, thank you so much for being here and accepting the invitation.
Absolutely. It is an absolute pleasure, Monika. I'm super excited and very grateful to be a part of this project. You know, bringing this book to life as a part of this big summit is just incredible. So thank you so much. I mean, yeah, what a way to get started. Now, I want to talk to you obviously a little bit in detail about, you know, your journey, what you've been sharing in the book and what you've been doing in terms of seeing people and talking to them, whether that is online or in the clinic. But before we get started, I would love to give people the opportunity to get to know you a little bit deeper. So Monika has dedicated over 20 years to working in the field of psychology. So she's done a lot of work and study in the field of psychology, clinical therapy, human behavior, and peak performance. Monika is very, very passionate about helping people free themselves from pain and suffering so that they can live a life that is fulfilled and empowered, which is so important. Monika is the founder of HypnoLab, a busy clinical hypnotherapy and psychotherapy practice in Melbourne's north, specialising in rapid anxiety resolution and business mentoring. With Monika's methods, clients can expect results within weeks rather than years of therapy. Monika is an upcoming author of the Anxiety Relief Handbook, which is designed for complementary therapies, featuring complementary therapies for anxiety relief. So that said, as I said, I'm super excited and very grateful to talk to you today, Monika. Let's get straight into it. I mean, what an amazing journey that you have been on, and you're out there in the community, locally, but also nationally and internationally helping individuals. Can I ask that very first question, how did you get into helping people, in terms of the therapy side of things?
Well, thank you, Samantha, for the introduction. So straight out of uni, I studied psychology at uni. That I already knew what I wanted to do from probably the age of 15. When my sister said, "Hey, Monika, I think you'd make a really good psychologist." And I said, "What's that? What's that, my sister?" And she said, "Yeah, well, they help people with their problems and they talk it through and things like that." And I'm like, "Yeah, I think I really would like that." It ended up being that I did study psychology, but I never registered as a psychologist. I went into the social welfare area where I helped and assisted, marginalised Australians with all sorts of really kind of, I say the heavy end, so people who are experiencing drug and alcohol addiction, who had lost their families, experiencing domestic violence, homelessness, all the hard stuff, the really, really hard stuff. And it was through that work that, really, I guess, also helped me realise just how lucky I am in my family. And I think that kind of propelled me to want to keep going in that area in terms of helping people, resolve some of the issues and alleviate some of that suffering that happens, that is, I guess, inevitable in life. And so it came to a point where my education and experience I kind of grew out of working for government organisations and industries, and I really wanted to work with people one-to-one in more of a rapid and solution-focused way, and hence me doing some more training and growing and developing programs and learning hypnotherapy. It's something that I kind of just arrived to naturally. It wasn't something that that I kind of, woke up and go, yeah, I'm going to be a hypnotherapist. Through education, through training, and through seeing results in that space, I realised that, hey, this is actually, a tool that I can use for rapid results for those who are wanting that. So it has been an evolution over time, indeed.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And something I suppose that, I was listening to was that passion that, there was a level of curiosity that got you started, and then that, as you said, you've kind of journeyed through that, which has led you on to being able to do some amazing work, which is incredible, because the truth is we all want to live life that is fulfilled and empowered, because just living that's living our best life, isn't it? Which is
exactly. And like I said, everyone suffers in their own unique way. It's really how we actually deal with that and how we move through that. That is a very individual process. Yeah. And I'm just really happy to provide those those individual services and programs to be able to assist people through anxiety.
Yeah, amazing. So then that kind of leads me on to my next question. My curious mind wants to know a little bit more around, when you think of the work you do, so the kind of therapy, if I can call it that word, that you do, can you share a little bit about what that work is like in terms of what people get to experience?
Yeah, so I mean, in terms of hypnotherapy, it has gotten a bad rap, unfortunately, because when you say the word hypnosis or hypnotherapy, you tend to associate those stage shows, which are for entertainment. And who hasn't seen an entertaining hypnosis show and pointed the finger, haha, like that looks so funny. But with hypnotherapy, it's actually nothing like that at all. So we do use obviously the use of hypnosis, but we use it in a therapeutic sense. Okay. And I think what makes it so effective and how it kind of integrates with providing relief for anxiety is that it's so relaxing, right? It's just like so relaxing. And if you think about someone who's anxious, or if you've ever experienced anxiety yourself, it's a very busy and energetic place to be in, with a lot of racing thoughts and perhaps, certain body sensations, heart pounding, and there's a lot going on. Yeah. And so, hypnosis is actually the concentrated focus, right? So it's the conscious focus where you're reducing and eliminating all of these distractions and ongoings down to, one or two items. And so through that, your whole body and your mind is able to relax. And so it's not only great to get those tools to be able to do it for yourself, but that's where the change can actually take place. Mm. And that's where, as a therapist, I can suggest to you through hypnotherapy, some of those calming strategies.
Yeah, amazing. I love that. So, as you mentioned, you kind of framed the question that I asked you really well, where you said, people sometimes do have a preconceived idea of hypnotherapy, or they've heard the word and they're not quite sure. Everyone's on a different journey, I suppose. So, is it evidence based, Monika?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I reading some present day articles that say, there still isn't enough evidence or research on hypnotherapy and its effectiveness. Mm-hmm. I kind of cringe when I read that, because all you have to do is Google evidence-based or research in hypnotherapy. Yeah. And you will come up with like hundreds, if not thousands, of studies right. for supporting the use of hypnotherapy in terms of the treatment of depression, of anxiety. Pain management hypnosis is huge. And in fact, we're actually using pain management hypnosis in one of our local hospitals here in Melbourne, in the Alfred.
Oh, wow.
So for pain, and also for gastroenterological disorders as well.
Okay.
So it is becoming a lot more mainstream, with more and more doctors, GPs and psychologists incorporating hypnotherapy into their practice for the treatment of various conditions and disorders. So it's really exciting. It's really great to see all of this evidence come up, and it really becoming known to be evidence-based. So, yay!
That is awesome. I think for
Yeah.
anyone that is going, oh, I'm still not sure, I'm trying to understand this on a deeper level, because they need a lot more information, and that's okay too sometimes. Well, what you've just shared is vital for that decision-making process of going, okay, there is this and there is this, and this is how I get an understanding onto that side of things, which is great. So it is very much evidence-based, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Moving on from there, I suppose, I've gotten a bigger and a deeper understanding of, your journey, what you've learned, what you've seen. And then I suppose, given you run a clinic, a very busy, in-demand clinic, when you start thinking of your clients and the challenges that they might be facing, what are you able to share, I suppose, in a broad sense, some of the challenges that you see around anxiety?
Yeah, absolutely. So often, and not always, but often when people actually get to looking up hypnosis for anxiety relief, they've often tried a host of number of different kinds of therapies before. Traditional talk therapy that gives them a real understanding as to why it's happening, but for them, sometimes they're not kind of they want it gone, right? They want all the symptoms gone. And so, someone who's experiencing anxiety, when they first meet me, they describe a whole host of various different anxiety symptoms. And there's often comorbidity of those symptoms too. So for instance, someone might be experiencing that generalized anxiety where they wake up with that kind of that feeling in the chest, where they're feeling a bit breathless, or they have a certain, kind of heart rhythm, that activates, as soon in the morning. But also they could also be experiencing other things like, that social anxiety where they're starting to withdraw more and more from social settings because it exacerbates those feelings in the body, and also exacerbate the negative kind of thinking, the catastrophizing in terms of, what if I go out and something bad happens, or, I don't, what are they thinking? That's kind of like the biggest question people who experience social anxiety have. It's like, they're thinking bad about me, or, I'm feeling embarrassed and I'm going to look like a fool, or what have you.
Yeah.
And then there's like another component to that as well, where, and you can see the comorbidity coming through, where some people also have had a panic attack, right? And it's come out of nowhere, and it's just one day they've experienced this panic attack, and it's really, really scary. And they feel like they're unraveling. And it's like, the social anxiety I can handle. I'll just stay at home more. I'll tell them I'm washing my hair, I'm busy. Or at work, I'll try and work remotely, and I try and manage it. But when that panic sets in, that's the point where it's like really scary. I don't know what to do, and I don't want to experience this again.
Yeah, which is massive. As you're explaining that, I'm going, depending on where they're at in their journey, it would be so challenging, because as you said earlier, they might have tried so many different things in order to help them, but here they are still, it's like not really making any progress, which then kind of leads me to my next question, Monika, is what makes hypnotherapy so effective for anxiety relief? Like, I'm curious to understand that on a deeper level.
So the thing is that, when you're in an anxious state, when your body's overwhelmed, your brain's overwhelmed, it's not the optimum state for learning and for learning new stuff. Yeah. So for instance, have you ever been like in a rush to go somewhere and you've tried to read something and it just hasn't sunk in?
Yeah, it just goes over my head. It's like, hang on, I just need to get that. Especially it's like a map, you know, when you're trying to navigate, it's like, oh, it's like
just too overwhelming. Yeah, exactly. And so, you know, education, you know, I support 100% education, but sometimes it doesn't fit with what someone's experiencing at the time.
Yeah.
And so with hypnotherapy, as I mentioned before, it's really, really relaxing, right? So how it's effective is that it actually quietens the mind. It quietens the mind, it quietens the body, so that that person can actually learn how to navigate their thoughts and how to actually naturally and self-sufficiently reduce those, you know, body sensations that they're having, right? What it also does is it provides an environment to address the root cause. Okay. Now, the root cause in therapy is my personal perspective is it's essential to actually get to the root cause of the problem and address it there, so that you're not having these ripple effects. Okay. Whether it be anxiety, whether it be drug addiction, whether it be any other kind of, you know, ripple effect that root cause is having, or that trauma, and actually make sense of it. So with hypnotherapy, I do a process that's called emotional release therapy. And so we're able to release the emotions that were produced or perhaps are unresolved from those events in the past, that may be contributing to the person or the individual's sense of anxiety and anxiety symptoms and panic. So particularly when there's been events where that fear response has been elicited, that's critical to actually address that and release that emotion, so that that person doesn't have to keep, you know, repeating and getting triggered into that same emotion.
Yeah, amazing. Love that. And that kind of then leads me on to, I think you covered quite a bit of what I was curious to know in that, but I suppose I'm going to just ask you, I suppose, a bit of an offshoot question from there, if that's okay, Monika.
Absolutely.
So how does it work in terms of, you know, you've mentioned a few techniques and how important incorporating that is in order to help someone move forward. Are you able to give us, give me and, you know, all those listening a little bit of a snippet, I suppose, on how does it work?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess firstly, you know, without even going into any sort of therapy, it's about finding a way where you can actually assist yourself to relax, to unwind, and to really kind of close off all of those triggers in life. You know, so having to pick up the kids and having to, you know, submit that email and, you know, what's the temperature? Did I, you know, bring, you know, comfortable clothes and shoes, all of that kind of stuff. So that the first process is really about stripping everything back and just getting into a really relaxed and calm state. And that is, I would say that's half of it, really. Because when you think about it, you know, how often do we actually practice calm throughout the day? Like,
it's a hard one, isn't it? I mean, we all have such demanding roles, no matter what we are doing, that busyness kicks in, and, you know, we might be quite self-aware, but it is one of those things.
Yeah. So for someone who is experiencing anxiety, their number one goal, more often than not, is to just feel calm. What's actually, what I get is, I just want to feel normal. Okay? I just want to feel normal. I don't have to feel on top of the world or the best. I just want to feel normal to start with. But to feel calm, that's, you know, you're halfway there. And by utilizing, self-hypnosis, or, if you're working with a practitioner, you are cultivating a habit of calm and how to get to calm yourself.
Yeah.
And then it's working with a practitioner that can actually offer some suggestions for calm and offer some suggestions to actually, release that root cause, whatever that might be.
Yeah, which is amazing. You've given me so much, like you've shared so much that I'm starting to get the rhythm of this, and I'm starting to understand things on a deeper level, which kind of then leads me on to that question to ask you whether you would be comfortable to share some actionable steps, or demonstrate a little bit, depending on how comfortable you're feeling, on some things that we can do when someone is experiencing anxiety. I suppose practical steps they can do at home. Monika, would that be okay for you to share?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd love to.
I'm excited to hear.
Yeah. I'd love to take you through a hypnosis session, and take you through the steps of what it's like and what it feels like. So for the best results, and anybody who's listening to this, make sure that you've got 10 to 15 minutes to yourself in a comfortable, quiet place. And obviously, if you're listening to this, make sure that you're not driving or operating machinery or doing anything that requires your full attention. So the first step is to really set an intention of how you would like to use this time and to prepare for the session. So, maybe you can rate yourself out of 10. What is your distress level? 0 being no stress, no distress, no anxiety whatsoever, and 10 being the most extreme panic attack that you've ever had. So rate yourself, and then just set an intention in terms of how you would like to feel and what you would like to have at the end of this session. So you may want to feel calm, confident, feel at ease in your body and in your mind. So just set that intention now. And then you can make yourself comfortable, whether you choose to sit down or lay down comfortably. Just find a spot on the wall that you can focus on. Focus all your attention on. A spot just above eye level. And just watching that spot. Looking at it intently and just observing maybe the colour and the shape. If it has a specific boundary, whether it's distinct or maybe a little bit fuzzy. And just continue watching and gazing. And as you continue to watch and gaze, your body goes into a natural relaxation process. There's nothing that you need to do other than just to look at that spot. Your body knows exactly what to do because calm is its natural state. And then in a moment, we're going to deepen this calm state even more. So we're going to count from 10 down to 1. And when we reach 1, you can close your eyes and you can imagine that you're visiting your most favourite place in the whole wide world. So it could be a place that you've been to before, maybe a holiday or beach or countryside. Or it could be just a place that you choose to imagine just for now. And with each number that we count back from 10 to 1, your whole body, your mind, and your eyes will become calmer and calmer. So let's begin that now. 10. Just keep watching and gazing and looking at that spot. 9, 8. Unwinding, unfolding, not a care in the world. 7, 6. Nothing for you to do now. There's nowhere to be, just here and now. 5. Or maybe your eyes are getting heavier and heavier. 4. Maybe that spot has become a little bit blurry or out of focus. That's perfectly fine. 3. Getting ready to close your eyes now and go into a deep and wonderful trance. 2, 1. Closing your eyes. Wonderful. And just going to your most favourite relaxing place in the whole wide world. Just be there now. See what you're seeing. See the colours. The place that you're in. Maybe you're with people that you love and who love you. Or maybe you're in a tranquil setting all on your own. Just see what you're seeing. And hear the sounds that makes that place so relaxing. Maybe you can hear the air, the wind, the ocean, or maybe it's complete silence. And just feel those relaxing feelings, those feelings that that place brings. And you could have certain sensations on the outside of your body or in your skin. Maybe the feel of sun or water, or maybe it's your doona that you're under. Whatever it is, just feel what you're feeling. And then scan your body from head to toe. And just notice where you feel in your body most relaxed, most calm, the most tranquil, peaceful. And there'll be one place that feels more pleasant than anywhere else. One place. And so just focus on that one place in your body where you feel most pleasant. And as you breathe slowly inside and outside, I want you to breathe through that pleasant feeling, expanding it with every soft, gentle breath that you take. That's right. Good. And so just continue breathing softly and gently. And then now, just imagine. You don't need to visualize. Just imagine all the tension from the past few minutes, hour, days, weeks, even years. Imagine that it's evaporating from your body. every breath that you take, imagine that there is a light that is drawing out all the tension, all the anxiety, all the stress, all the unwanted emotions and beliefs. It's just being drawn out of your body. Like the water from a towel evaporating in the sun. It's evaporating not only from your body, but also from your mind, from your spirit, from your past. And just notice how good that feels. And just let it all go. Give yourself permission to let it go. To feel pleasant. To feel calm. That's right. Letting it all go. Letting it all evaporate. From the past few days, months, years, maybe even since you were a little child. Just letting all that go and evaporate now in the light. And when those feelings, those thoughts and emotions are completely gone, notice what's left is a sense of relief, calm, tranquility, pleasantness. And again, just notice where that pleasant feeling is. Where you feel the most pleasant. And return to breathing through that pleasant feeling again. Extending it to your whole body. Soothing your whole body. And so just enjoy this feeling for a few moments. That pleasant feeling. That's right. And then you can lock in this pleasant, soothing feeling by forming a protective bubble around you. A protective, pleasant feeling, calm bubble. So just imagine a bubble around you, a shield that contains all those pleasant, calming feelings. Sense of safety, calmness, perhaps even confidence. And then just float in that bubble. Float out into the future to a time and place that's most appropriate for you, where everything is as it should be. And just notice yourself doing things differently. Achieving those things that you want to achieve. Behaving and presenting yourself in the way that you would ideally like to present yourself. Experiencing those life events. And perhaps doing those things that maybe you previously avoided. But now see yourself doing those with the calmness, being in that bubble. With confidence, with ease, with grace. And feeling all of those positive emotions now. That's right. The sense of achievement and confidence. All those feelings that come with doing what you love. And just get a sense of relief from any previous restraint. And the more you practice this, the easier it becomes. So I'd like to invite you back now. I'd like to count you back to the room, coming back with 3, 2, moving those fingers and those toes, rolling those shoulders. 1, and opening your eyes. That's right, good. And feeling those good feelings, bringing them back with you. And just knowing that with every day and in every way, it just gets better and better. So I'd like you to now just compare how you feel. Notice any distress out of 0 to 10. And just notice that it's most likely decreased. If you would like it to decrease more, you can do this again. Do however many times you feel. And the more and more you do it, the more and more you will feel empowered over your own sense of well-being, of calm, knowing that you can reduce those feelings of tension and anxiety just by taking a few moments for yourself. So congratulations, you've just completed your self-hypnosis.
I love that, Monika. Thank you so much for sharing. What an incredible experience. Like, I immersed myself right into it, and yeah, just incredible. So thank you so much for that. Very, very grateful.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share that.
No worries.
I definitely felt a bit calm while I was guiding everyone there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Monika, before we wrap up today's conversation and I let you go, because I'm sure you've got a few things on, lucky last, how can people get in touch with you?
Oh, absolutely. So I think I'm on all different types of social media, but you can find me on my website, www.hypnolab.com.au, and we'll have the link under this interview if you want to connect.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Monika, once again for your time, for your amazing information, and yeah, congratulations on this super exciting summit. So thank you.
Thank you everyone, and bye from us for now. Take care.